Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and deciding that you're never going to eat again. Not because you forgot, not because you aren't hungry, but because you've chosen to push the human body to its absolute limit. At first, nothing dramatic happens. You don't collapse. Your heart doesn't suddenly stop beating. In fact, everything feels surprisingly normal. But while you go about your day as if nothing has changed, a silent war has already begun inside your body. A war no one can see. A war no one can hear. Every cell, every organ, every drop of blood is suddenly working toward one single goal. How do we keep this human alive? And the strangest part, your body doesn't give up. Instead, it begins making decisions that seem almost impossible. It completely changes the way it produces energy. It switches to a different fuel, and eventually, it begins consuming itself. But how long can it keep fighting? Could a human really survive an entire month without food? It sounds impossible. Yet one man achieved something even more unbelievable. A man who survived for more than an entire year without eating solid food. His story changed the way scientists understand the limits of human survival. But before we get to his incredible journey, let's go back to the very beginning. The very first minute, without food. The moment you swallow your last bite, the countdown begins. From the outside, nothing seems different. But inside your body, everything is changing. At first, your body doesn't panic. It assumes this is simply the gap between two normal meals. So it turns to its closest source of energy, a reserve called glycogen, stored inside your liver and muscles. Think of it as your body's emergency fuel tank. During the first several hours, this reserve quietly supplies your brain and muscles with the energy they need to keep functioning normally. That's why you may feel hungry, you may hear your stomach growl, but your body is still operating almost exactly as it always has. Your heart beats normally, your brain remains sharp, your blood sugar stays within a healthy range. Everything appears to be under control. But appearances can be deceiving. Because this emergency fuel tank is much smaller than you think. Hour by hour, it begins to run out. And as those reserves disappear, your body is forced to face a question it never wanted to answer. If no more food is coming, where do we get energy now? The answer to that question will trigger one of the most extraordinary survival mechanisms in the entire human body. And that's when everything changes. 24 hours have passed. Your glycogen reserves are almost gone. By the end of the second day, your emergency fuel tank is nearly empty. And now, your body is forced to accept a terrifying reality. No more food is coming. For the first time, it must make a life or death decision. If it continues burning glucose at the same rate, your brain will eventually run out of fuel. But the human body has spent millions of years preparing for moments exactly like this. Instead of shutting down, it activates an extraordinary survival plan. Its first move is to look inward, not to destroy your muscles, but to borrow from them. Your body begins breaking down small amounts of muscle protein into amino acids. These amino acids are sent to the liver, where they're transformed into new glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. In other words, your body starts making its own sugar. It's an incredible backup system, but every backup system comes with a cost. With each passing day, a small part of your muscle mass is sacrificed to keep your most vital organs alive. Fortunately, your body knows it can't survive this way forever, so it begins searching for another source of fuel, one that can power the brain, without rapidly destroying your muscles. And that's when something remarkable happens. Your liver unlocks your fat reserves and begins converting stored fat into tiny molecules called ketones. At first, your brain isn't very good at using them. It's been running on glucose your entire life, but the human brain is incredibly adaptable. Day by day, it learns to use ketones more efficiently. Soon, a growing percentage of your brain's energy comes from this entirely new fuel source. It's like replacing the engine of a moving car, without ever stopping the vehicle. But even as this incredible transformation takes place, you probably won't feel your best. During this stage, many people experience persistent headaches, dizziness, difficulty concentrating, mood swings, extreme hunger. Then, something unexpected happens. After 2 or 3 days, that overwhelming hunger begins to fade. Not because your body no longer needs food, but because it has accepted a new reality. Food isn't coming, so instead of wasting precious energy making you feel hungry, it quietly turns those signals down. The battle isn't over. Your body has simply changed its strategy. But after 72 hours, everything changes once again, because your body is about to enter one of the most extraordinary survival states in human biology: ketosis. 3 full days have passed. Not a single bite of food has entered your body. If you looked at yourself in the mirror, you might simply look tired, maybe a little weaker than usual. But inside, something extraordinary is happening. At this very moment, your body makes a decision that has kept humans alive for thousands of years, a decision that allowed our ancestors to survive long winters, failed hunts, and devastating famines. You have officially entered ketosis. From this point on, glucose is no longer your brain's primary source of fuel. Instead, your liver begins producing ketones from stored body fat. These tiny molecules become the fuel that keeps your brain alive. This isn't just a backup plan. It's one of the greatest survival mechanisms ever developed by the human body. Imagine driving across a desert. Suddenly, your car runs out of gasoline, just when you think the journey is over. The engine somehow learns to run on an entirely different fuel, without stopping. That's exactly what your body is doing. Every hour, more stored fat is converted into energy. Every day, your body works tirelessly to preserve your muscles for as long as possible. Because muscle isn't just about strength, it's about survival. It's what allows you to walk, to hunt, to escape danger. Your body knows it may need those muscles later, so it protects them whenever it can. But every miracle comes with a price. To conserve energy, your body begins shutting down everything it considers non-essential. Your metabolism slows. Your heart beats more slowly. Your body temperature drops slightly. Even unconscious movements become less frequent. It's as if your body quietly whispers, "Every calorie matters now." And then, something strange begins to happen. The unbearable hunger that consumed your thoughts during the first 2 days starts to disappear. Many people describe feeling calmer. Some even report moments of surprising mental clarity. But don't let that fool you. This doesn't mean your body has recovered. It means your body has adapted. Adaptation is not the same as safety. Meanwhile, the number on the scale continues to fall. But that number doesn't tell the whole story. Much of the weight lost during the first few days wasn't body fat at all. It was water, stored glycogen, and the fluids that were bound to it. The real test is only just beginning, because in the days ahead, your body will be forced to make even more difficult choices. Choices that may keep you alive, but slowly begin to break you down from the inside. And that's where the first week comes to an end. If you think the hardest part is already over, think again. Yes, your body has successfully adapted to life without food. But adaptation doesn't mean everything is okay. 7 full days have passed, 1 entire week, without a single meal. By now, you've probably lost several kilograms. But here's the surprising truth. Most of the weight you lost during those first few days wasn't body fat. It was water, stored glycogen, and the fluids attached to it. Now, the real fat burning begins, day after day. Your body continues breaking down its fat reserves to keep you alive. It's an incredible survival system, but it's not free. As the days pass, you begin to notice the effects. Standing up too quickly may make you feel dizzy. Simple tasks require more effort than they used to. Your hands and feet may feel unusually cold. Concentrating becomes harder, and even walking can leave you feeling exhausted. Why? Because your body has entered full energy-saving mode. Every calorie has become precious. Your metabolism slows down. Your heart beats more slowly. Your blood pressure may begin to drop. It's as if your body is carefully rationing every last drop of energy, quietly saying, if our resources are limited, we must spend them wisely. But despite everything, there is one organ your body refuses to abandon: your brain. Keeping it alive becomes the highest priority, day and night. Your liver continues producing ketones from stored fat, delivering just enough fuel to keep your brain functioning. It's one of the most remarkable examples of biological adaptation ever discovered. But every passing day brings your body closer to its limits, because no matter how much body fat you have, it isn't infinite. Eventually, those reserves begin to shrink. And when they do, your body will be forced to make the one decision it has been trying to avoid since the very beginning. It will stop feeding on stored fat and begin feeding on itself. That's when survival becomes a race against time. Nearly a month has passed. Every single day, your body has fought to keep you alive. Every heartbeat, every breath, every decision has been part of an extraordinary battle for survival. But now, that battle is becoming harder. Until this point, your body has relied mainly on its fat reserves, burning them carefully, using every possible calorie as efficiently as it can. But what happens? When those reserves begin to run low, your body is left with almost no choice. It turns to the last source of energy it has left: itself. Muscle tissue begins to break down at a faster rate, not because your body wants to destroy itself, but because it's desperately trying to protect the organs that matter most to your body. Survival is more important than strength. As time passes, the loss of muscle becomes more noticeable. You become weaker. Simple movements require more effort. Even standing can feel exhausting. And if starvation continues for long enough, the heart itself can eventually be affected. Because after all, the heart is a muscle too. Meanwhile, another silent battle is taking place. Your immune system begins to weaken. Producing new immune cells becomes more difficult. Your body's ability to fight infections slowly declines. A minor illness that would normally pass within days can suddenly become life-threatening. Cuts take longer to heal, bruises linger, recovery slows. But perhaps the most frightening changes happen inside your mind. Your brain is still functioning, but not at full capacity. Concentration becomes difficult. Memory begins to fade. Thoughts become slower. Some people experience confusion. Others become emotionally detached. And, in severe cases, especially when starvation is accompanied by dehydration or vitamin deficiencies, hallucinations and serious neurological problems can occur. Your body is still fighting, but it's fighting with fewer and fewer resources. Every hour, every day, it moves closer to its limit. And that raises an extraordinary question. If this is what happens after only 1 month, how did one man survive for more than an entire year without eating solid food? It sounds impossible, almost unbelievable. But this isn't a myth. It isn't a legend. It's one of the most remarkable medical cases ever recorded. The year was 1965. In a hospital in Scotland, a 27-year-old man named Angus Barbieri walked through the doors with one goal: to lose weight. At the time, he weighed more than 450 pounds, over 200 kilograms. His doctors recommended a short period of fasting. Just a few days, maybe a few weeks. No one, not even the doctors, could have imagined what would happen next. The days passed, then weeks, then months, but Angus never returned to solid food. Instead, he remained under constant medical supervision. Doctors monitored him regularly: his blood chemistry, his heart, his vitamin levels, his overall health. He wasn't surviving on water alone. He received water, tea, coffee, essential vitamins, minerals, and continuous medical care throughout the entire fast. This wasn't a challenge. It wasn't a social media experiment. It was a carefully monitored medical case. Then, the impossible happened. 1 month became 3, 3 became 6, 6 became 12, until the final number stunned the medical world. 382 days, more than an entire year, without eating solid food. By the end of his fast, Angus had lost approximately 276 pounds, more than 125 kilograms. He had gone from severe obesity to a healthy body weight. And when the day finally came to eat again, his first meal was astonishingly simple: a boiled egg, a slice of bread with butter, nothing more. Later, he told reporters something almost impossible to imagine. "I'd completely forgotten what food tasted like." Even today, more than half a century later, his case is still discussed in medical schools and scientific literature around the world, not because it proves that prolonged fasting is safe. It doesn't, but because it revealed something extraordinary about the human body. Given the right conditions, careful medical supervision, and unique circumstances, the human body is capable of adapting far beyond what anyone once believed. But Angus Barbieri's story was an exception, not a rule, and attempting to repeat it without medical supervision could be extremely dangerous or even fatal. After everything we've seen, perhaps you'll never look at food the same way again. Every single day, we eat without giving it a second thought. We rarely stop to consider the billions of microscopic processes happening inside our bodies, quietly keeping us alive. But the moment food disappears, the human body reveals a side that most of us never knew existed. It doesn't surrender, it doesn't panic, and it doesn't simply wait for the end. Instead, it adapts. It changes the way it creates energy. It slows itself down. It sacrifices what it can to protect what it must. Day after day, it fights a silent battle, one that no one else can see, one that has been perfected through millions of years of evolution. But no matter how extraordinary that survival system is, it has limits. Every day without food comes at a cost. The longer starvation continues, the greater the sacrifice becomes. Angus Barbieri's story wasn't remarkable because he lived for 382 days without solid food. It was remarkable because it revealed something extraordinary about the human body. Under the right conditions, with careful medical supervision, the human body can adapt in ways that once seemed impossible. But adaptation is never the same as safety. And that's the lesson this story leaves behind. The question was never, can a human survive 30 days without food? The real question is, how far will your body go to keep you alive right now? As you're watching this video, trillions of cells inside your body are working together in perfect silence. Your heart continues to beat, your lungs continue to breathe, your brain continues to think, not because you tell them to, but because your body has only one mission: to keep you alive. Perhaps the greatest survival machine ever created has been inside you all along. If you enjoyed this documentary and you want to explore more incredible "what happens if" scenarios backed by science, make sure to subscribe, because the next question might completely change the way you see the world. This is What Happens If.